At the time of natural disasters and barbarian invasions, there was a man named Zhang Jue, a faith healer who is said to be a follower of Taoism and a sorcerer. His name is sometimes read as either Zhang Jue or Zhang Jiao. Rafe de Crespigny noted that disease outbreaks were reported in the Han Dynasty in 151, 161, 171, 173, 179, 182 and 185, with the potential cause theorized as the Antonine Plague. Without any evidence, it's been supposed the origins of the plague lay in Central Asia from some unknown and isolated population group, which then spread to the Chinese and Roman worlds. This spread of smallpox or measles along the Silk Road was perhaps connected to the plague that impacted the Roman Empire and led to the rise of the cult faith healing movement led by Zhang Jue. It may only be chance that the outbreak of the Antonine Plague coincides with the Roman embassy of Daxin landing in Jiaoji in 166, but the ambassador went on to visit the Han court claiming to represent An Dun, which translates to either Marcus Aurelius or his predecessor. It's been written that the Roman subjects visiting the Han Chinese court in 166 could have ushered in a new era of Roman Far East trade, but it was a harbinger of something much more ominous instead. Zhang Jue was born in Julu Commandery at an unknown date, where in his early youth he became a follower of the way of the Huang Lao. This was the most influential school of thought during the former Han, that stemmed from the half-legendary, half-historical Yellow Emperor and the sage Lao Tzu. The premise of these teachings is that enlightened leadership can bring peace and prosperity to the land by adhering to the principles found in Taoism. It's claimed that before the outbreak of the Yellow Turban Rebellion, Zhang Jue had spent more than a decade preparing for it. When he became adept in the way of Huang Lao, he founded his own religious movement with his younger brothers Zhang Bao and Zhang Liang in the 170s, no later the 175. Zhang Jue had somehow obtained the Book of Great Peace with green headings. It was a sacred book written by an unknown author and consisted of 170 chapters. Within contained information about yin and yang, the 5 powers and calamities, with various wizardry and shamanistic references. It was gifted to the court between 126 and 144, but the emperor was advised that it was not classic, but instead heretical and inappropriate, so he put it aside. It's not entirely clear if Zhang Jue had this book, a replica, copy, or many of these books with him. Parts of the book's content were also very similar to Zhang Jue's aims, so it's likely that it was also used as propaganda for his campaign. They believed that illness was a form of sin. If someone was suffering from pain or illness, it was because they committed wrongdoings in their lives. If a person felt the need to pay visit to the Zhang brothers, they were ordered to bow or kowtow before the masters of the movement, then they were ordered to reflect on their sins and have faith in the Tao. One of the masters would then recite magic formula over water and hand it to the patient to drink, with the expectancy to bring an immediate cure. If the treatment was successful, it was because the patient had enough faith in the Tao. If the patient was not cured, he or she lacked faith in the Tao. Thulu talismans were also incorporated as a healing method alongside medicines and meditation. The unreadability of Taoist talismanic symbols is a type of linguistic archaism deliberately designed to be cryptic, a veil of unfathomable otherworldliness, if you will, that allows only a small number of clergy to produce them. It was likely the masters also knew of herbal and medical remedies to cure or mitigate the sufferings of their patients. Zhang Jue had mastered the teachings of the old masters before acquiring wide popularity through his own teachings, known as the Way of Great Peace. His followers praised him as being able to cure patients who sought his help by giving them blessed water. Those that recovered believed in him and his teachings, so his fame spread by word of mouth. The process of gathering followers was quickened when Zhang Jue sent disciples to travel to every part of the empire and convert people from 8 different provinces. Since Ma Yuanyi frequently travelled to Luoyang, he was able to persuade 2 eunuchs to secretly collaborate with Zhang Jue. Some people sold their properties and left their homes. The pilgrims blocked the roads, so that tens of thousands of them became ill and died before they even reached Zhang Jue. Within 10 years, they amassed 360,000 followers, perhaps even more. Zhang Jue's sect was by no means a secret, but as the numbers kept growing, he probably started creating a secret agenda. Around 177, the minister over the masses Yang Zi was one of, if not the first official to express his concern about the sect. He wrote to Liu Dao under the minister of masses and told him, if Zhang Jue is met with amnesty, he will not repent, and his movement will keep gradually increasing and spreading. Now, if the officials of the provinces and commanderies are ordered to have them arrested, I fear that this would cause further stir and quickly bring disaster. I wish to order urgently the inspectors and the heads of the commanderies and kingdoms to classify and divide the wandering people and escort each to his native commandery in order to weaken the party and isolate it. Afterwards, it will be easy to punish the leaders and to establish tranquility. Liu Dao approved of this plan, so Yang Si sent a letter to the throne, but the next year he was dismissed, so the matter was pigeonholed. To gain and keep their hundreds of thousands of followers, a host of omens were presented as concrete evidence that heaven had withdrawn its mandate from Emperor Ling. Known omens were, in 178, a number of hens developed male characteristics, or either changed into males. In July of 178, a wreath of black mist in the form of a dragon entered the imperial audience chamber. Black mist in the form of a magpie obscured the sun for months on end. In the summer of 178, there was an earthquake which created a fissure across the ground. Horses gave birth to humans, and humans gave birth to freaks. A dark rainbow appeared in the sky, and plants suddenly adopted the shapes of animals. Snakes, tigers, and madmen were seen sneaking in and out of the palaces. A yellow woman was allegedly transformed into a caterpillar. This was interpreted to mean that the bearers of the colour yellow would replace the Han. And in the summer of 184, a virgin gave birth to a baby in Luoyang with 2 heads and 4 arms. Furthermore, Zhang Jue claimed, "The azure sky is dead, and a yellow heaven will take its place. When the year is Jiazi, great fortune will come to the world," suggesting that the next first year of a new cycle would usher in a new revolutionary religious era. This was proposed in accordance with the 5 phases theory, where the yellow earth element would replace the Han dynasty's fire element. In Taoism, heaven has 36 layers, and hell has 10. Zhang Jue spread his followers over 36 divisions, each with a leader known as a Fang, who always spoke of a yellow heaven, and each master was equipped with a staff or cane with 9 knots or sections. The bigger Fangs had control over 10,000 men, whilst the smaller Fangs only led around 7,000. Jiazi started appearing written on the walls, gates and offices of Luoyang in the various commandery administrations. It's also likely they spread a rumour that a new disease began affecting humans, perhaps a version of smallpox or measles. In 183, Liu Dao sent another letter repeating Yang Zi's suggestions, but further added the following. Zhang Jue's secret plans become increasingly dangerous. The empire is full of whispers and rumours, and it's claimed that Zhang Jue and his followers have gained entry into the capital and have spies within the court. They twitter like birds, have the hearts of wild beasts, and they make plans together. The provinces and commanderies have put the whole question under taboo. They compare notes with one another privately, but they are reluctant to say anything in the open. Your Majesty should issue a clear edict calling for the arrest of Zhang Jue and his supporters, and promising rewards of land from the state for those who capture them. If any should dare to evade your call, then they can share the same punishment. Emperor Ling didn't take the matter seriously. In 184, Zhang Jue and his brothers gave themselves titles. Giving himself the title of Great Teacher, Zhang Bao became General of the Land, whilst Zhang Liang became General of the People. Wearing yellow pieces of cloth, they led their followers in the Yellow Turban Rebellion, in a campaign called the Way of Heaven or Way of Peace. The Way of the Taiping sect acted like a military organisation hereafter. Leader of the large Fangs Ma Yuanyi marched tens of thousands of followers from Jing and Yang province to rise up on the 5th of March 184. He went around the capitals and nearby cities to prepare for the rebellion by connecting with his spy network. They set April the 3rd as the date for the rebellion, but the central government caught wind of the conspiracy. Another one of the founders of the Way of Peace, or a disciple of Zhang Jue's, Tang Zhu, had been excluded from the movement as it grew. He betrayed his yellow turbans and reported Ma Yuanyi to the authorities, who was then torn into pieces by chariots for treason. Emperor Ling finally ordered for the arrest of Zhang Jue and his followers, which led to hundreds of people being arrested and executed during this time. When Zhang Jue heard that his plans had been discovered, he quickly sent messengers to contact his allies to take action immediately. It's also claimed he held human sacrifices to bless their cause. He spoke of the magic he thought himself capable of to his followers, and promised that if they took his medicines, they'd be immune from wounds and could fight in battle without fear. Then sometime between 29th of February and 29th of March, roughly 360,000 followers wearing headscarves attacked government offices, pillaged cities, and seized commanderies. In only 10 days, the rebellion had spread throughout all of China. The scale of the uprising shocked the court as new followers flocked from all over the country to join the Way of Taiping. Despite initial confusion and disruption, the response of Han was remarkably prompt and energetic. The 8 passes guarding Luoyang were fortified and garrisoned, then Lu Ji was sent to deal with the rebels who were mostly concentrated near Zhulu Commandery. They were defeated in battle, so forced back inside Guangdong County where they were besieged. A moment's rest was provided when Lu Ji was falsely accused of treason by a eunuch back at the capital, so he was recalled. When Dong Zhuo arrived to replace him, Zhang Jue may have become sick around this time, as it was Zhang Liang who managed to hold out against the fresh enemy army. Dong Zhuo also failed to take over Zhang Jue's position, so retreated. On 25th of September, the imperial court sent Huang Fusong to replace Dong Zhuo, which is when Zhang Jue ironically died of illness. The Imperials were unable to defeat Zhang Liang's skilled Yellow Turbans who had taken over command. Huang Fusong switched to a defensive approach, tricking the rebels into lowering their guard for a devastating nighttime strike. Zhang Liang was killed in action along with 30,000 rebels, while another 50,000 drowned while attempting to flee across the river. 30,000 carts were burned and most of the rebels' family members were captured. Huang Fusong then had Zhang Jue's coffin dug up and broken open, his body decapitated, then sent his head to the court in Luoyang. Some of Zhang Jue's methods, rituals, and characteristics survived after his death and influenced Taoism. The 36 divisions, the staves of 9 knots, and the use of incantations to cure the diseased. Some enlightened Taoist schools of later dynasties revere Zhang Jue as an ancient teacher. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.